18th of March, 5 a day, further maths, and let's just go with the first question. Right, what do we have? Okay, so it says solve. So again, just to state what is very obvious but really important, it says solve. So not just factorise, but actually solve as well. Now, I think I can probably factorise this one. And obviously you're watching me do a video, so I'm doing it live. In an exam, I might be tempted just to not bother and just use a quadratic formula. But I think this one does go. Moreover, I noticed it's a minus and a minus, so I know there's going to be a minus and a plus in the middle. I don't know which one of those is a plus. 3x, or 3, more to the point, goes down to 3 and 1. So I know one of these is going to be 3 and one of those is going to be 1. So the real question is, where do I put the 2 and where do I put the 1? Well, if I multiply 3 by 2, that gives me 6, and I can't use the 1 to get back to 2, so it must be the case that the 2 goes here and the 1 goes here. And then if I do a quick check, so I've got 3x times 1 gives me minus 3x, and 3x times minus 2 gives me minus 2x. I want minus x, so therefore I must add back the 2x and take away the 3x. Again, you get much better at that just by practicing. Like I say, if it says factorise, then definitely it'll factorise. If I'm in the exam situation, I'll probably just use a quadratic formula because it's quicker. Either way, point done, question done, move on. Next one, the transformation matrix M represents a 90 degrees clockwise rotation around the origin right down. Now, right down is maths code for you should just know or do a very minimal amount of maths. I have to say, I don't know what it is. I probably have a bit of a guess, but let's just work it out quickly. So if I think about the point 1, 0, and if I rotate it 90 degrees clockwise, well, that's going to go from there to there. So in other words, its new position is going to be 0 minus 1. If I think about the point 0, 1, well, that's going to rotate 90 degrees down to here. So its new position is going to be 1, 0. So therefore, the answer to my question is 0 minus 1, 1, 0. And without getting to the whole technical nature of this, what I'm doing is I'm rotating unit vectors or I'm transforming unit vectors. And of course, what I do to unit vectors, I do on a grander scale to other points. So therefore, this method will work. It's a very clever method. You'll do more of that if you do further maths A level. Next question. Solve the simultaneous equations. Again, when you have a question, just 2 seconds, just think about what you've got. I've got a linear equation and I've got a non-linear equation. So I'm going to rearrange the linear one to say that y equals 7 minus 2x. And I'm going to put that into the non-linear one, which is going to tell me that x squared minus 7 minus 2x squared is equal to 8. Then I'm carefully going to expand, so that's going to be x squared minus. Now I could do this in one go, but I think it's just risky. You get your minuses wrong, you get the whole question wrong. It's just annoying. So I'm going to do it first and then deal with the minuses. So 49, 7 times minus 2 is minus 14, doubled is minus 28, and minus 2 times minus 2 is plus 4x squared. Let's keep the brackets consistent, so we'll do a square bracket, and that's equal to 8. Now I think I'm going to just go for this one. So I've got x squared minus 4x squared is going to give me minus 3x squared. I've got minus 28, which is plus 28x. And then I've got minus 49 and the minus 8 from here. So that's going to give me minus 57. And that all equals to 0. Now the question is, can I factorize this one? Now, typically with these questions, it's unusual to get some really tricky answers. So I'm going to give it a go. So rule is, again, if you've seen old videos, you'll hear me say this several times. If I can't do it after a minute, move on, and I'm going to use a quadratic formula, but I'm going to give it a go anyway. First of all, I'm going to tidy this up. So I'm going to make it 3x squared minus 28x and plus 57. And I'm going to remember that 57 is the same as 3 times 19. I don't have many factors, so it's why I think I can just give it a go. It's a video, it's not an exam, it's fine. Now, I would note it's a minus 28 and a plus 57, so I know both of these are going to be negative to give me a plus when I multiply them together. I know 3x is going to be, or 3x squared is going to be 3x and x. So the real question is, where does the 19 go and where does the 3 go, assuming this works? Well, 3 times 19 is much more than 28. So I'm guessing the 19 is going to go here, and I'm guessing the 3 is going to go here. And if I do a quick check, so 3x times minus 3 is minus 9x, 19 times minus 1 is minus 19x, 19 plus minus 9, or 19 plus 9, is 28, and that has indeed worked. So a bit of luck, but again, a bit of sort of guessing that whoever did this question probably made it work, because it typically does. Either way, that tells me that that equals 0, which means x is equal to 19 over 3, not nice, or x is equal to 3, a bit nicer, which means I can then go all the way back to the first equation, more specifically this equation here, and work out my y values. So if x equals 19 over 3, then y, calculator out, equals 7 minus 2 times 19 over 3, which is going to be minus 17 over 3. And slightly easy to work out, if x equals 3, then y equals 7 minus 2 times 3, which is 7 minus 6, which is 1. So my 2, what am I doing? Solve the simultaneous equation. So my answers are going to be 3, 1, and 19 over 3 minus 17 over 3. I don't have to write them as coordinates, but x, y is what we typically understand. I'm going to write x, y here. X, y is what we typically understand, so I've paired them up, which is the important thing. Either way, question done. Next question. And final question today. A curve has equation, gives me an equation. Work out the equation, the tangent. Right, okay. As you, I have to stop saying this in each video, as you may see me do many times, because of course I'm 3 months in now, it is a gradient question, which means it's differentiating. So the first thing I'm going to do is expand the brackets. That's going to be 2x cubed minus x to the power 4. Then I'm going to differentiate, which is going to give me dy dx is equal to 6x squared minus 4x cubed. And then I'm going to put in the value 2, so x equals 2, the gradient is equal to 6 times 2 squared, which is 4, minus 4 times 2 cubed, which is 8, and 4 times 8 is 32, and 24 minus 32 is going to give me minus 8, 24, yeah, minus 8, which means my gradient is minus 8. Now, I'm going to, doesn't really matter today, I'm going to do the other method I don't often do. So I'm going to say y equals minus 8x plus c. I'm going to use 2, 0. So in other words, 0 is equal to minus 8 times 2 is minus 16 plus c, which implies that c is equal to 16. And either way, I've got there, haven't I? That means that the equation of my tangent, same gradient as dy dx, is equal to, or is, y is equal to minus 8x plus 16, and that is my final answer. I have a good mix of questions today. I like today's questions. It felt like we were doing some different things in a slightly different way. As ever, let me know how you did. Do like and subscribe, and I'll see you for the next one. Thanks all.